sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live for another edition of Saturday Sports Freestyling. I'm here this morning with my man FanDuel Zaya of the FanDuel Zaya podcast, who has a huge game today. His Buckeyes will be playing Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, number one versus number two. How you feeling this morning, FanDuel Zaya?
Man, baby, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. We ready. You feel me? We coming. We coming back to where our home originally is and it belongs. We taking our rightful stage back, man. I'm excited, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. Are you one of those fans who like the game at noon, 3:30, or the prime game at 7:30?
It all depends. I don't like playing at noon a lot. I think it is a time where you should play those games. Like I always like playing Michigan at noon because notoriously that's a noon game. But when you going through these seasons, you know, maybe 3 games at noon is good. I think we should definitely play about 3 night games a year, not including the Big Ten championship. I like that this time is slotted in prime time under the lights. But I think it just need to be a balance, man. None of these games should always be at noon. You know, the whole Fox thing and Big Noon and that's the main slot. That stuff we're gonna be playing in that slot forever if that's the case. If they keep going down the same road, so I don't know. I ain't gonna say I'm not a fan or I am a fan of noon or 3:30. I think it just needs to be a balanced schedule, man.
Yeah, I prefer. Man, I agree with you on that. Sometimes I do want it to be at noon. Sometimes I like 3:30. I like night games because of the excitement of it and all that. The thing is, though, win or lose, when it's that night game, bro, my body be so daggone jacked that it'd be hard to go to sleep, man. I don't be liking that, especially when I know I got to get up early on Sunday morning, man. But the night game is probably the best in terms of a fan being there at the game, light shows and all that stuff that they do now in those games. But 3:30 is probably the one I like the most because it gives me enough time to get some stuff done during the day, and then I can wind down after that game is over and not be so geeked, whether it be a loss or a win.
You know, wait till the night games too. You be antsy all day waiting for your boys to come on, man. You
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like, oh, I cannot wait till this game starts, especially if it's a big time matchup.
yeah, yeah. And you try to plug in all kinds of stuff you can do to pass the
Nah,
time.
facts.
Yeah, yeah. What did you think about North Texas Tulane last night? Did North Texas look like they just the stage was too big for them?
So I mean, listen, I picked Tulane to win because I felt like they would come out there with a little extra juice because they're on their own field. Um, listen, I just think these are two like comparable teams in talent. So the edge is probably gonna go to the team. I wouldn't say the stage was too big for them. It's just a conference championship game, but I mean, they both had the same type of thing on the line, you know. So I'm not gonna say the stage was too big, or I just think they lost to a team that had more juice and probably wanted it more. That listen, when you get to games like this, the team that usually win is the team that wants it more, and that's just what you saw last night. Like Tulane punched them and they throat. You know what I mean? Like, and it was no recovering for North Texas.
Yeah. I thought at the beginning of the game, North Texas came out and looked really good on that first drive. They even looked good on the second drive. But that fumble, man, really flipped the momentum in that game. It looked like it was going to be a back and forth matchup. And after that, I just don't feel like they ever recovered well enough to get momentum back on their side to the point where they could go ahead and try to close out that game. But I think you're absolutely correct. Tulane was not playing. They understood what was on the line, and they was out there playing more aggressive, with more fight, with more urgency than I felt like North Texas played with out there yesterday. Um, Hats off to Tulane. You're going to make the college football playoffs. Hopefully, you can have a good showing in that. You think they're going to probably be the 12 seed, 5-12 matchup
Man, we
against.
gotta wait. We gotta wait for the ACC because James Madison won last night too. So we gotta wait just to see what happens for real because it ain't no telling.
It ain't no telling. You're exactly right about that. What's your thoughts on James Madison and the possibility of them probably getting into the college football playoffs, having two group of five teams if Duke pulls off this victory today over Virginia?
So I was screaming James Madison possibly making the playoff 3 4 weeks ago, but up until that point, I have never seen them play. This was the first time I seen them play last night. If they get in, they're gonna get blown out.
Yeah,
They just I mean, good group of five team. For the Sun Belt. They're not it, man. They're not it. I see why they kept on pump faking about putting them in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? They got a quarterback. He run the ball, but he's not. He can't. He's not a good passer from what I seen yesterday. Um, and they're going to be super tremendously undersized if they play a Big Ten SEC team. They're going to be so undersized. Like I don't know. So man, I hope we do not see them get in. Honestly, I know I predicted it and I said it, but I'd rather be wrong.
yeah, they will definitely get pushed around, man, if they make it. So of course we are rooting for Virginia to go ahead and get that win because that would be. Do you know how much controversy that would be? How many people will be out there saying the committee, this is what we get when we don't have a better formula for picking the 12 best teams in the country. I was watching that Mac Brown clip where he was saying that he would like to see them get the 12 best teams or whatever the number is going to be, whether it's going to be 14 or 16, and then that the group of five you have your own best 12 and compete in that. I think I think what he was saying was probably spot on, and I think a lot of us feel like that too. I know you want to see the group of five get a chance, that the small guy to get a chance out there. Um, if it's going to be this format. But I'm quite sure you also would like to see them have their own thing where they can go and win their own championship on that group of five level, because we all know that it's going to be tough for them to be able to compete in the college football playoffs, especially when you got to play against some of the teams who have the size that they have and the skill that they have. They'll just be outmatched.
You know what? Why they don't just create an NIT in the football? Like they do the basketball. It don't have to just be a group of five thing. You could take a couple teams that you think that needs to be invited from the power, and see if the group of five can compete with some of the worst teams in the power. Just that's how the NIT works though. They send an invitation to whoever they think deserves it.
Let me. I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's a really that's a really good point. Do you think, like, if they go with the first 12, say hypothetically, the committee or whoever who decides this stuff just decides, hey, we're going with the best 12 teams we feel like are in the country, 1 through 12, whoever end in 1 through 12, y'all in. But everybody 13 through 24, you're going to go play in a separate NIT type of thing, and they play like that. Do you think that would be feasible, or you might still have some really good Power Four teams who will probably dominate that?
I don't think they should do it like that. I think they should take the first 12, but still the top group of five because, like I said, sports is about competitiveness, underdog stories. These are things that make sports what it is. So I think after 12, though, we should still have matchups in bowl games. because you get a lot of matchups you wouldn't normally see regularly. We've seen this play down last year. Everybody was doing stuff like that. We got to still solve the problem of these out. But after you pretty much sweep through the middle class of the rankings, so, anywhere from 13 to probably the 40th ranked team overall in the country, I think that's where you start sending invites out. Um, just because you don't really want the next best group of five, which let's say it's North Texas at the moment or a Navy. You don't want them playing against Miami. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the same. You're going to get the same result that you're probably going to see in the college football playoff with those guys. And when you turn around and you look at the NIT in basketball, and we know it's a totally different sport. Size really matters less in basketball than I would say football. Um, Even though size, you can't teach size in neither one. So, but when you look at it on the basketball side, the difference between the team that was just on the cusp of making a tournament and maybe a mid-major school, like let's just take Ohio, if they had a good team, is way slimmer than it would be on a football field. So that's why I think you got to kind of pull the parameters back from not having the 12th or 13th team, and then you taking the next two or three group of five teams because the difference is still wide in that area. That's why I think you should just still bowl game like maybe 12 to 40, 12 to 50. You should still bowl game them guys, and then with with the football tournament, what your goal is to give the group of five teams something to look forward to winning and putting in the trophy case because at the end of the day, nobody thinks they're ever going to win a college football playoff.
Yeah. Let me ask you this as it relates to the committee or whoever decides this thing, just deciding to go, well, listen, whoever are the at the end of the season, whoever the top 12 teams are, whatever the number is, whether it's 12, 14, 16, 24, whatever it is, we're going to take the top 12, get away from if you're a conference champion or not. If you're not in the top 12, whether you're a conference champion or not, you just don't get in. Would you be okay with them going to that format and leaving a group of five out if they're not in the top 12?
I mean, it would be pointless to play conference championships then at that point for real now. Like I
Okay.
think honestly, I think Ohio State Indiana game today is pointless. Because whoever loses, and let's just say the other one wins the national championship, everybody's gonna be like, okay, we wasn't Big Ten champs, but we won the national title. So it's like, what is this? This game is only risking injury, and it's only got award implications for real. Like, who cares if either one of these teams lose? Now, I'm a different type of fan. I ain't won a Big Ten championship since 2019, and I want to win a Big Ten championship. So I'm all here for it. But I'm telling you, the majority of the country is probably thinking like, what's the point of playing this game? Neither one of these teams is going to be ranked below 3 or 4 after this week. They're both still going to get buys. So we really just playing for bragging rights right now.
Yeah, I remember when we first started doing the podcast and we were thinking about the 12 team playoff and conference championship games. And like in the NFL, when you get teams who are coming up on that last game of the season, they sit a lot of their starters because they already know what their position is going to be in the NFL playoffs. They already got that sold up. They go ahead and rest players. Do you think in a case like this one, because we already realize that this game 1 and 2, both of those teams are in. Of course, their position where they're going to be at is not locked in yet. The winners is locked in. We already know where the winner is going to be. Whoever wins is going to be the number one seed. In a case like this, do you think that there are teams out there who might eventually start to say to themselves, listen, we don't want to risk injury in this game. Let's go ahead and maybe get out. real quick and sit our guys in the second half if this is a game that we can win with our backups. Do you think that kind of scenario will happen?
I don't think. I think eventually that scenario that's going to be what's going to start happening if they don't get rid of the game all in all. But no, I don't think that's going to happen this year. Not yet. Now, if you got a couple guys that just banged up and you just know you're about to be in the playoffs and you want to give them an extra week of rest, you might settle. But when you talking about doing mass benchings to get rest, I just don't see that happening. Ohio State got a lot of pride, man. We ain't won a Big Ten championship since 19. We want to win it. We want to win it because we want to add that trophy to the trophy case. But I do not think we are too far removed from guys not taking this day serious at all. Like we are not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if next year, if they didn't fix this, I wouldn't be surprised next year if the SEC team that's projected to be a top four seed, the Big Ten team that's projected to be a top four seed, and even if somebody popped up and went undefeated in the ACC or something, if they did it next year, like because it's really pointless, bro. And you do not want your guys getting hurt in this game, knowing that you got three, maybe four games to play to win a national championship. And just think about this for a second. We not. I heard somebody say this yesterday on YouTube, but let's knock on wood. Just think about if somebody like Fernando Mendoza went out there and tore his ACL in this game. Their season's done. You could kiss national championship away. Like, and that's the key. Like, why are we playing this meaningful game? But that's why we gotta change the format. We have to highlight and make the main focus to uh play non-conference, high competitive non-conference games, and to play in your championship game. These two things should be at a premium for what we base our whole format off of. Them things need to be rewarded because at the end of the day, if you going out in non-conference, you're challenging your football team early in the year, then you got Indiana's that's not playing nobody. There's no way you should weigh them playing nobody versus this team playing two top 15 teams in the non-conference. And then on top of that, let's say Bama win today. I'm not sure that Bama don't jump 6 spots and be a top four seed after winning the SEC. Now if they lose, I could possibly see them falling out too, though. But if they win, people better not be mad if they see Bama get a bye.
Yeah. Let's welcome my man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10 to the show before we go and ask this last question about conference championship games. Welcome to the show, Mossberg. How you feeling this morning?
Man, pretty good, pretty good. Good morning to everyone. Just good to see y'all, man. I've been a little busy with work this week, and I get myself prepared to go in again for another shift this evening, and I'm gonna miss a little bit of that game, but it's just definitely good to be here with you guys.
Yeah, so far we talked a little bit about North Texas getting taken down yesterday by Tulane. Tulane securing their spot in the college football playoffs, and the possibility that if Duke wins today, James Madison getting a spot as well. We talked a little bit about that, and then now we're on the discussion about conference championships. And just like you, FanDuel, there, y'all haven't won it since 2019, and you want to get one. But at the same time, after getting this one, you probably will be okay with not worried about another one. I feel the same way about Texas and the SEC. I want to get them up first before it goes away. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say my Texas Longhorns won the freaking SEC championship game. Now, if they would have won it last year, I would be saying, get the hell away from this SEC championship game. But they didn't. So, how do y'all feel about it? Would y'all be okay if they got rid of conference championships at some point?
I think eventually that's that's what it's gonna boil down to. Um, like Zay said, he had a great point. Ohio State has been on this tear. We've watched. And for me, I really didn't think about it until we talked about it a lot. Like, man, they really haven't won no Big Ten championship in some years. And it's crazy the way that parity happens. And I think it goes away. I think Ohio State's about to demolish Indiana today. I think they're gonna give them something they ain't even see coming, similar to that 56 to nothing we seen one year from Ohio State. I think in the same stadium, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they about to do exactly that. I think Duke's about to win, and I think we about to see the chaos in Alabama as well. I think they got to get away with it.
Listen, I'm telling you, we have to preserve conference championships. It's already a lot of stuff leaving college football, but college football, like conference championship game, is a slice of the pie that plays into the mystique of college football. We have to preserve conference championships. We're already moving to a point where they don't know if, like you said, Texas says Sark, they're gonna play this game next year. Then they're gonna hit the drawing board and see if they're gonna play non-conference games or schedule non-conference games the way that you don't want to start losing the actual jewels of college football that we all get up for. We get up for conference championship weekend. Like we this is something that we've been loving up until this point because now we feel like it's meaningful and we don't want to see nobody get hurt during this week, especially knowing what's ahead. Um, but that's why we got to hit the drawing board and figure it. It can be figured out. You can have your cake and your ice cream too, but you got to figure out a system to where people wouldn't mind waking up to play this game and going hard out there. You know, it could be incentivized to actually win these games today. So uh, before you get rid of it, I think you need to exhaust everything to try to figure out how to preserve it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you make a great point with that because you know, and I say that based on the way they've had this playoff. I think the playoff, makes it to where you want to push away with it. And, like you said, go to the drawing board. If you make a bigger playoff picture, does that give that conference championship a lot more teams able to schedule those right games because of course we seeing this year the non-conference games be a big part whether it was early in the season or late in the season. And that's we always talk about November football. What are you doing in November? And it seems like it doesn't matter this year. They're still talking about a Miami team that played great. We seen the first half, and as you spoke about the crystal ball, and it seems like it's a thing. One week they're up, the next week they're kind of like, man, is this that team that should be in the playoffs? So I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it. And with you saying that, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree. They should go to the drawing board, make a better picture. And man, I kind of go back on my word. I like the conference championships because
Yeah, well, if this come across anybody's board, I know they thinking about 14. So this is my thought process, and this is just my idea. I hope it come across y'all's destiny. Yeah, if we're gonna go to 14 teams, like I think we're gonna go,
Mhm.
just go ahead and give a automatic bye to the Big Ten and the SEC champion. That way, that game is incentivized because if you got to play that game in the conference championship, you probably want that extra week of rest. Um, Big 12, the ACC, they still get an automatic qualifier. I think they'll be satisfied with that because at any given year, even if it's 14 teams, they might only get two teams in. And then you still got your group of fives with an automatic qualifier, your next highest champion, or whatever. So I think that's the way you can incentivize, especially listen, the sport is built around the SEC and the Big Ten. So them are the two conferences that really needs the incentives. Everybody else should be out here just trying to get in where they fit in, and we just keeping it a buck, you know. So if you going to do something like move to 14, I think you need to incentivize uh, Georgia and Alabama, regardless of what the hell going on. The top 1 and 2 seed probably should be coming from the SEC and the Big Ten. They should be incentivized with a bye. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I like the picture that you have painted about the conferences being able to they got to find a way to make this thing meaningful because the painting that you see right now with Carson Beck getting hurt in that game and that hurting Georgia's chances in the college football playoffs is the painting that everybody is sort of like looking at right now. But I really would like to see the conference games continue because as a fan, we do really look forward to conference championship games, but we really want them to be conference championship games that are matched up. That's why I like the fact that conferences have gotten away from those divisions and now they're just playing whatever the schedule is and the top two teams in the conference play. Because for several years, the Big Ten took whoever won that Ohio State Michigan game because they was usually the best two teams in the conference. And there was many years that Ohio State or Michigan got left out of the title game because of they lost to the other. And so with that being said, I like the fact that they've gotten away from those divisions, which allows you to get the two best teams in the conference to play in those championship games, even though there are times when the one team is much better than the other guy who made it to that game. But I would like to see them incentivize it as well to make it more meaningful. And I think that well, whoever makes it to that game, there should be some money available for those players who those teams who make it. There should be some money available from whoever runs that championship game. They should get incentivized. The coach should get incentivized. Players, the whole 9 yards. And there should also be an insurance policy for every player that's paid by whoever runs that freaking championship game. The conference needs to make sure that if anybody gets injured, they got insurance that can be paid out to them if they get injured in that game. There has to be something on the table that makes this game continue to be worth playing, especially once we've seen what happened with Carson Beck last year. It just got to be incentivized so that it can stay meaningful because I don't really want to see it go away. But if the picture that we see right now is Carson Beck, then I don't want that to happen to my team if they make it to the SEC championship game and they lose a key player like Georgia lost Carson Beck last year.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the game coming up today between Duke and Virginia? What does Duke need to do to win it, and what does Virginia need to do to keep from losing?
Man, Duke need to have them boozer boys in attendance and the crazies going, the Cameron crazies. But I don't know. I think if Duke continue to play stout, play physical, um, just be Duke. They've climbed into this ACC championship by just winning week after week late in the season, and they've gotten healthier. Duke is a team that's been under the radar. I've watched them. They've got to keep victories throughout the season to put them in this ACC championship. So I think Duke actually prevails today. I got Duke winning. Um, I'm picking all the chaos today. I think Duke wins, cause some chaos, and it's a great season for Virginia. But I think Duke is going to have that chaos. That team with them 5 losses and people sitting back like, wow, this is what we got to deal with. Some more chaos. I got Duke in a close victory.
Um, Darian Mensah got numbers like every quarterback that's considered in the Heisman race right now. Um, he got almost 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That sounds like some of the lines that Mendoza and Sayan has. Um, Defense is terrible though. It's just bad. I don't want Duke to win. I do not want listen. I do not want to see James Madison get in. After watching them yesterday, I don't want to see it because I'm not gonna watch that game. Whoever, if they get the 12 seed, whoever get the 5 seed, I'm not watching. They're gonna get ran up and down the field. It's gonna be 60-0. Um, in that instance, I'm going Virginia. I think Virginia's gonna win. I think Chandler, what is his name, Morrison, the quarterback. I think he's gonna have a good day. I like Darian Mintz on the other side. If I had to pick between the two quarterbacks, but whole and whole, all around, I just think Virginia should be the better team.
Yeah, Mossberg, as much as I need some chaos to happen, that's not the kind of chaos I want to see. You know, if Duke wins this game, man, that means James Madison gets in. It doesn't mean one of those other deserving Power Four schools get in, like a BYU or Miami or Texas or Vanderbilt. None of those teams get in. It's James Madison with that kind of chaos. So I definitely don't want to see that happen. I want to see Morrison be able to go out there, control the game, make the throws he needs to make the check downs that he need to make, and make the adjustments that he need to make in the play calling for them to be able to run the football and go ahead and milk that clock and keep that Duke offense on the sideline because Virginia's defense isn't that isn't that good. So I've got Virginia winning this game. I think they're good enough to win it. I think they beat them earlier in the season. Is that correct?
I
I
wasn't
have
sure.
no clue.
Let
Oh,
me
okay.
double check because I wasn't for sure.
Oh, Moss, you did say Duke beat Virginia. You told us that.
By 17, I think it was. So
No,
we
Virginia. No, Virginia beat Duke.
They won
Virginia
by
beat.
17,
Virginia beat.
34-17.
Yeah.
I don't know for this game. I just think like the way that game went, Duke turned the ball over. I think they've learned a lot, from that game to be in that game. And like you said, Mensa, man, you're talking about a leader. He's led this Duke team and to places they didn't think they would be this season. So I think they put it all on the table. I think they come out and they fight. I just think they can get this win today. It's just been that type of season in the ACC.
Hey, they played that game on November 15th. That was 2 games ago for Virginia.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
That was recent.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was recent.
But when
So
you play them part twos,
that get tricky.
they get tricky and they get close. And Duke, they got a little chip on their shoulder. So it's for the marbles this time around. And I
What
think
they
Duke,
what they got a chip on their shoulder for?
for the fact that they turned the ball over that last game and they could have won that game. Them turnovers they made in that game was in a position where Duke was driving, trying to get into
What
that game.
what they was they fumbled sometimes in the game.
Couple interceptions,
Couple interceptions.
simple,
Mensa.
simple
So Mensa.
mistake. I just think they're a better team now. Like 2 weeks can make a difference, especially when you're playing against that same team. I think it's a difference maker, especially with the marbles on the line. It's for the championship. Duke got some seniors, and I think they want to go out with a bang. I do like this Virginia team. Don't get me wrong. That young quarterback is dangerous, and he's going to have this Virginia team rolling next year too. So I mean, it could go either way. I just got Duke for some chaos. Put James Madison in the playoff.
I mean, don't think for one second that Duke is a team that is saying to themselves, "Oh, we just gonna go out here and play this game." They
Yeah,
probably never won a football a conference championship in their lives.
yeah,
It's all basketball at Duke. So they probably like, listen, we got an opportunity, a golden opportunity at that. Your Miami was down a little bit. You got Florida State that was down, Clemson that was down. We got a chance to win the ACC championship game. They're going to go out there and try to put it all together and win this thing, man, and be able to say we're the 2025 ACC champions, man. We ain't making the college football playoffs, but at least we can say we are the conference champs at 7-5. That's ridiculous.
man, it's crazy.
Hey, so Virginia won that game 34-17. Going into the fourth quarter, it was 31-3.
Oh,
Go, go
So
look back. How many?
a
How
couple
many?
couple garbage time touchdowns made it look interesting, but it wasn't.
-4 Virginia. What that tell you?
I don't care about Vegas. 31. Hey, it was 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. What that tell me? That tell me Virginia was clearly by far the best team on that field. Not even close.
I'm taking Duke.
well, let's switch over to Texas Tech BYU. Same question. What does Texas Tech need to do today to let the committee know that, listen, I need to stay as a top 4 seed in this college football playoffs? What do they need to do to win? And can BYU even make it interesting? Do they have the talent to even be able to compete with this Texas Tech team, which I think we all believe is the best team in this conference, talent wise, from top to bottom.
Texas Tech just got to keep doing what they're doing. Um, the looks that I've seen of them, this is a high flying offense. It give me chills, like Crab, the years of Crabtree, things like that. But Sataki and this BYU team, they come in a fight. They're not going to lay down easy. This was probably one of the toughest picks for me. I think man, they come in respectively. I'm gonna take BYU. It's a tough take for me, um, but I'm gonna take BYU. I'm very familiar with that team as far as in picking them over the recent year. Texas Tech, this their first year getting there. After the season they had last year, I know we put that out the window, but if BYU could get some stops, I think they could win it. So I'm gonna go BYU and a tough one to get Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, Moss, but BYU has no shot. Their best offense is LJ Martin. Texas Tech probably got a top three defensive line in the country. That BYU has no shot, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they left out with 3 points on the board, man. I just don't think they're gonna score enough points to stay in this game with Texas Tech. Moss, you want to talk about spreads? The spread's 12.5. What does that tell you?
Now they got this. They say they're gonna get them. I already know. They saying Texas Tech going. I mean, they got a high offense. They got a flying offense. I know what Texas Tech could do. I just for me, it's like BYU had a shot last year. You know, I thought they was gonna fumble and lose one of these games and not be in the championship, but they didn't. So that's another reason. I feel they've one upped it from last year. They're in the championship. I think they could win it. Um, that's the reason I'm taking BYU. That's the reason. So reason. Sataki, he knows what's ahead of him. Playoff, everything.
Hey, no, it's your pick, and it's your record that you're hey, by any means, you will pick who you want
I'm
to
going
pick.
BYU. Leave me
I'm just,
alone, FanDuel, man. Leave
I'm
me
just
alone.
saying, I'm just saying, man. I'm going Texas Tech, but I just don't see no way they can do anything with these boys, man. And really, honestly, like when you look at BYU, like they didn't really play nobody in the few good teams they played in the Big 12. They struggle with. I mean, even though they won, they struggle with Arizona. They struggle with Utah. I think it was somebody else they struggled with too, but like the better talented teams in the conference, they just struggle with. And we talking about a Texas Tech team that I think doubles the type of talent that they got than any other Big 12 team. Like that whole front seven is going to the NFL.
That Texas Tech team is pretty loaded.
Yeah, Bear Morton is their quarterback. Is that correct?
Bear, uh, it's that's
Batchmeyer,
not Bachmeyer or
Bachmeyer,
something.
Batchmeyer,
Bachmeyer.
Bachmeyer.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh,
Long as
you talking about Morton? You talking about Texas Tech? Yeah, Morton. Morton is the quarterback.
yeah, Bear Morton. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the quarterback for Texas Tech. He's played a lot of football, man. I
Yeah, he
mean, he's
old.
played a lot of football. He just had a lot of injuries. This is one of the seasons where he's been pretty semi-healthy. I think he got hurt maybe earlier in the season, but I don't think he missed much time if he missed any time. But I think the fact that he is so seasoned the way he is, he's going to lead this Texas Tech team to this Big 12 victory, man, and they're going to look really, really good in doing it. I don't think BYU has a chance in this game. It's 12.5 for a reason. It could probably be more than 12.5. But I think they're just trying to show BYU a little bit of love and feel like they probably can compete a little bit in this game. But like FanDuel said, their front seven, man, is different. And their front seven can probably compete with everybody that's in this college football playoff ranking right now. I got Texas Tech winning this game pretty easily. I need them to win it convincingly. so that they can. That could be the kind of chaos I'm looking for, Mossberg.
That's the
With
chaos you need.
that's the guy I'm looking for. I need it. I need it for sure.
Give me
But I don't
Texas
know if it's
Tech,
going to
man.
help though. I don't know if it's going to help.
Give me
But
Texas
I
Tech
think
for your chaos.
it's part of it. Yeah, for sure. But I just think that they're on a mission. They spent a lot of money on this football team, and for the football team going forward, that I think these guys are just going to go out there and play really, really well today, and win this game. And those of you that's out there in the chat, let us know who you think is going to win between Virginia and Duke. Put it in the chat, and who you think is going to win between Texas Tech and BYU. Let's go on to the SEC championship game where we got Georgia and Alabama. This matchup, this is where college game day is going to be, and we all sort of was in the chat going back and forth about who should have this game. Should it be Alabama and Georgia, or should it be the number one and number two ranked teams? And normally you would think, oh yeah, they're gonna go with one and two, but in this case they did not. They went with the Alabama and Georgia game. What's your thoughts on this matchup? And should Alabama win it? As FanDuel Isaiah said, will they jump 6 spots and make it into the top four?
I say Alabama win, just like Zay said, man. They jumping. This Alabama team is scary good, and the reason I say that is because we know what we can get out of them. We know the run game they have, but they just keep doing what they do week in, week out. I think this is a game where we see something different out of Ryan Williams. We know what Ryan Williams did last year, but I'm saying this is a different year. I think they actually get loose on Georgia. I know it's an SEC championship game. I think they placed out. I was looking for Georgia to show me a glimpse coming off that big win against Texas, but I didn't really see what I wanted to see in a way. Alabama, I think they got the lead in this, and I think they, you know, a lot of people talking and don't really feel they should be in it. I think they win. I think Alabama shock a lot of people, get a big victory today. I know Jam Miller's been a little banged up. I think it's going to be game time decision on him. But I think that trio that they got with Williams, Bernhard, Ty, I think they just a different team. And as long as you got them at your use, you could definitely make some things happen. I'm going with Bama.
Man, let's be honest, bro. Bama is mid. They don't play good in the second half ever. Like you could watch the last game against Auburn, then you go back 2 weeks before that against Oklahoma. What was the main thing? They let Auburn come back in the second half, who's a very, very trash team in the SEC. Oklahoma, they didn't. I don't even think they scored one touchdown in the second half. I want to say, um, but like they don't play in the second half, bro. And um, to be a good to great team, you gotta string together whole games. They have yet to play a whole game, and all year this has been a knock on Bama. They don't play well in the second half, so that's gonna come to bite them, and that's why I see Georgia winning this game. I think Gunner makes plays when the pressure comes. I think he makes plays, and having a lack of running game, bro, is still there. That you see the signs of a lack of run game still there. So that's not a good recipe. Not playing in the second half and no running game. That's bad. That's tough. It's tough to win like that.
Yeah, I think Kirby Smart and that Georgia Bulldog team get the Alabama monkey off their back in this game today as well. I think the fact that they don't have to worry too much about Alabama's run game, um, and the fact that Gunner Stockton has a pair of tight ends, really got three of them guys that he can get the ball to. He's not. I don't think he's going to throw the ball down the field really well. But the fact that they instituted the what is his that number one, whatever his name is, a transfer from USC. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, that guy
Deion Branch.
Branch, yeah, in the short game, screens, quick slants, getting the ball in his hands quickly to let him, make some moves and get out on teams really, really helps them. and helps their short game because Gunnar Stockton really isn't a deep ball thrower. He's even though he did pretty well against Tennessee, you really haven't seen much of that lately out of him. But the fact that he's been able to find Branch on some of these short throws and the fact that they can run the football, and that's not something that they're going to abandon. They're going to run the football regardless with the two-headed monster that they have. I think they control the thing and they disrupt Ty Simpson's timing and really win this game today. I need them to win it convincingly. I think they're going to win, but I don't know if they're going to win it as convincingly as I need them to make a little bit more chaos where Alabama is concerned, where they might possibly drop them out of the top 12 and put someone else in. But I got Georgia winning this game. I think Kirby Smart gets that Alabama monkey off of his back.
Hey, and one thing, key stat. Bama only averages 3.7 yards per carry on the year. Their leading rusher only has 490 yards on the year, which is jam. Georgia, on the other hand, 4.6 yards per carry.
Say it one more time.
I said Georgia, on the other hand, averages 4.6 yards per carry.
Yeah.
It could play a big part. I think, another thing for this game, I think the defense. I think both defenses have to, of course, play great. I think that's something I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing which defense, gets that momentum, looking to try to cause turnovers. And I think the team that gets the turnovers in this game wins the game. I know turnovers play a big part in games, but I think this game specifically with, Alabama and a run game not really being a factor lately, but that passing attack is there. And we know how crazy that passing attack could be and the way you use Bernhard just for the little, duck offs and things like that to kind of get the offense rolling. I think it's just a defensive game today. Whoever comes out and plays stout defensively, not just in the first half, but I think that third quarter, that first few drives in that third quarter, I think that sets the tone for that second half because the way it's looked, no offense has really been played in these games in the second half. So got to see who's going to step up defensively to make that offense happen. Defense causing a turnover, offensive point. So that's just something that I'm gonna be looking at myself as well.
And this is another thing too. Bama struggles. If they don't get explosive plays, they struggle. Like a lot of their touchdowns on the year, if you notice, they don't really string together 12 play drives for 70 yards. No,
Mm-hmm.
they get explosive pass. It might be a five play drive that went 65 yards, but they done had a 40-yard pass within the drive. So can they string together a drive or two this game? Where they go 10 yards and they go all the way down the field and they get in the end zone or they get some points. Period. I just think that Georgia is more well rounded and balanced on offense to be able to complete that mission.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, all right, y'all. Well, let's look at this last game we got on the slate. I guess the people in the chat, they must be afraid to tell us who they think gonna win these games and these conference championship
Man,
games, because ain't nobody dropped nothing in the chat. Who you think gonna win between BYU and Texas Tech? Who do you think's gonna win between Virginia and Duke? And who do you think's gonna win between Georgia and Alabama? We want to hear from you. Let us know who you think's gonna win as we talk about Ohio State, Indiana, one versus two. The matchup that I think many of the people in the country have been looking forward to seeing because Indiana has played really well. They haven't played as good as we've seen them play early in the season when they played Penn State, and Mendoza hasn't played as well as he's played in the past. But they really put it on Purdue that last game. Ohio State, we know what they've been looking like all season. They look like some serious juggernauts. They consistently look like the number one team in the country. What's your thoughts on this matchup? FanDuel Zay, of course, you can go last. You're the Ohio State fan in this. What is your thoughts on this one? What does Ohio State need to do to make Indiana look like they're mid?
Man, you're talking Ohio State, Indiana, man. This is I think we've all been waiting on this. I think everybody's been waiting on it, myself personally, because everybody know what Indiana coming with. Everybody know what Ohio State's coming with. And for me, watching Indiana beat Oregon and Eugene this year, that was a big win. Still throughout the season, I was like, is this Indiana team? Indiana, what is this team? Who is this Indiana team? And little and behold, they're in the Big Ten championship. But I'm going to ask after this game, who is this Indiana team? Ohio State wins plus 20s at taking your Buckeyes to put a beat down on the Hoosiers. No disrespect to Indiana. But I think when you face this Ohio State team, I think Ohio State is really that damn good. OH with a big victory today.
Indiana has not seen a defense like them Silver Bullets. Yeah, Donnell, you're exactly right. They have not seen a defense like what they gonna see today. And Super Tanker 13, my cousin Chad. Listen, I know you don't want to jinx your team, but I know who you got. I know who you got. I really do believe that Ohio State is really sending a message to the country. Listen, it started before the season started. They said that the team that won that championship last year, that's their championship. We want one of our own. And they've been on a mission ever since. That defense has some of the most talented players in all of college football. They definitely got at least three or four consensus All Americans on that team, which are playing lights out. Really, really smart players, really, really athletic players. And offensively, we already know what that's looking like. Julian Sand throwing nearly 80% completion rate. Nobody can guard that freaking Jeremiah Smith. Nobody can guard Carnell Tate. Then you throw in number one in there. They got a nice running game. I don't know if Indiana is fundamentally sound as Indiana is. I don't know if they're ready for what they're about to witness today. I hope that Indiana can make it look good and keep it close so that the hype that they've gotten all year, I ain't even gonna call it hype because they deserve it. They went into Eugene, Oregon and beat an Oregon team who was really, really good. I just hope they can make it look close. I just don't feel like they can, man, because this Ohio State team, bro, they are freaking loaded, man. Now, if they can stop the run and can run the football, Indiana, then maybe they got a chance to keep this thing close. They can't give up run and pass and think they're going to be in it with these Ohio State Buckeyes.
Right. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we got the man coming in for this one. This is Fan Doze. He's talking about his Buckeye Nation. And he's been talking about them not since this year, but since last year, off season, preseason. Talk to us about the national championships they ran in. And it's a lot of people that saying three-peat, but I said you got to get two before you get three. Talk to us about this Big Ten championship and what it means to you, your Buckeye Nation. First one in it since 2019. Talk to us, Zay.
Man, listen. When we this is the same. Like I said Thursday, this is the same thing we played last year. I don't think people realize though. I had to go back and rewatch the highlights of the game last year. That game was actually closer than what we realized. I know the score said 35-13, but um, there was an interception in the first half that we capitalized off of. We scored after the interception. I think we went up maybe 10 points, and then Boom, Caleb Downs took a kickoff return back in the second half, and that's what really busted the game open. But they actually played really well last year. But there's one fundamental difference in this game, and that's Julian saying. Julian Sane is a dude, man. I'm telling you, he's like he was created in a lab. He's like a robot quarterback. He just he don't get rattled. Um, he don't like getting hit. Don't get it twisted. He's not one of these dudes that want to get hit, but he's not afraid of pressure. He's not afraid of blitzes. Um, Curcinetti will be in a grave. He would be making a grave mistake if he think he's about to go do what he tried to do. Well, what he completed to do against Oregon, in which he blitzed them 19 times in that game, and he had Dante Moore all over the place. You cannot do that to Julian Sayer. Passing rating right under 95% against the zone. He comes back down to earth a little bit with the blitz. He about 69% passer rating when it's a blitz. But 69 passer rating is still well above the average in college football under them circumstances. So that is your best shot probably. But the difference between blitzing Julian Sand and blitzing all these other dudes is Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. It's no way you're going to be able to blitz us like that. I don't see no possible way that they're going to be able to score enough points. The most points that have been scored on us all year, 16 points. My man Juck, you got to shout him out. He has this theory of how to beat Ohio State, and that's uh, you have to limit their possessions. But
Yeah.
if you can limit Ohio State to 5 possessions and only hold them to 2 touchdowns, that's your recipe to beat them. So, say you got 5 possessions, you punt 1 possession, you score 2 touchdowns, you kick 2 field goals. That's 20 points. That is the recipe to beat Ohio State. Now, the other opposite end of that is you have to score 21 points. You got to score 3 touchdowns. So, I don't think that's going to happen. I think if we got 8 possessions in this game, we will score uh, 3 touchdowns, and I think we might kick 3 field goals out of 8 possessions. And I think that's well enough to win this game. Um, Now they do got dudes. They got all Americans on that side too. Um, you got the boy Pond, who's a defensive back on the shorter side, but he's an NFL guy. He's going to be in the NFL, even though he's a 5'9", 5'10" type of dude. He's going to be perfect in the slot in the NFL. Um, you got dudes all over the field for real. Hamby, Black, them are 2 tough running backs that we're going to have to figure out a way to stop. Of course, you got Mendoza, who's a Heisman candidate. And where he ain't been playing well lately, but do we not are we not going to respect him and just think that we're going to just do whatever we want? No, we got to come play too. They got a good secondary. They got the one kid in the back that just became eligible, honestly, like the 4th or 5th year. Um, I mean, listen, this is a championship game. It's a playoff. This is possibly a preview of the national championship game. I think both of these teams can make it to the national championship. So I'm not just gonna say we're gonna go out here and do whatever we want. We will cover the spread. I did say 2 touchdowns. I still believe it, but I think the score and how the game is played will look totally different. Like it might be looking crazy on the scoreboard, but I think it's gonna be closer if you watch the game. You cannot just look at the box score at the end of the game and be like, "Oh, Ohio State did this, Ohio State did that." I think the game will be closer than what the score indicates.
Um, I'm glad you mentioned that about the secondary. Just thinking about your secondary and your defense, Reese, Igbinosa. Of course, we know about the boogeyman. He scares everybody.
We got two boogeyman's. Which one?
But I watched my guy Sanchez the last couple of weeks. I know since that one week you was disappointed in him, but I watched him. That kid has stepped up, and I think these last few weeks, I think when it comes to that secondary being prepared. I've been watching him play, just how he's more active, seem like he's just wanting to be better. That conversation you said when he had on the sideline with coach, I could see that played a big part in his betterment these last few weeks. So Sanchez is one that I'm actually looking forward to seeing, because that's one of the guys I like when y'all was recruiting him. Just my style of player, his height and everything. So defensively, I think, I don't know, Reese, Downs, Igminosa, Boogeyman too. I just think this Ohio State defense is different, man. I don't really think Indiana has nothing coming. Y'all on that turf that y'all want to be on. I know they got great cornerbacks, great linebackers. I just think y'all win in this Big Ten championship to prove more than a point. I think y'all about to put up a 50 ball like y'all did a few years ago. People looked why y'all was there and wanted to see y'all play. I got y'all doing the same thing. Nah, you
Yeah.
good. Work it.
Hey, they was hauling some shit, wasn't they?
Yeah.
But listen, this the thing too, though. I want to reiterate this. Indiana got dudes everywhere. I'm talking about dudes that you're gonna see in the NFL. Aiden Fisher, one of the better linebackers in the country. They got Michael Kamara, edge. He roam around the field.
What's
He
number
get
8?
after it.
Number 8 for
He
Indiana, that linebacker. That's
that
the
he's a Daly. Daly is number 8.
that's
Daily,
the one
he
that I
play
like.
edge.
Yeah, that's
He
the
play
one I
edge.
like. Yeah, I like him.
But even those guys in the middle, the kid Tucker in the middle, he get after it too. He's a plugger. The kid Lewis Moore, that's the kid I was talking about that got his 6 year granted earlier in the year. They put a hold on. He was supposed to the fourth game. They said okay, go ahead and play, but his case was in the courts. He is instrumental to their defense. He's the back end of that defense. He's their version of a Caleb Downs. He's not as good, but he can ball. I think he's an NFL guy. So they got talent all through that. This Indiana program is building, but it's time to humble these guys, man. I think they need some humbling because these Indiana fans are terrible. Have y'all noticed these Indiana fans around the country? They act like they've never been here. We got to show them.
Hey, I seen a map yesterday, man. They got the predictions is the world for some reason. It got a world map with Indiana all over it, saying the world is speaking Indiana over Ohio State. What's the one or maybe two? What part of the game do you think Ohio State? What's your advantage in this game? What part of the game do you feel Ohio State has the biggest advantage? Of course, we know on the outside with the wide receivers, but what part of this game do you think gives them that advantage, gives them that edge?
It's clearly our offensive line. Our offensive line play has been tremendous. We gave up zero pressures against Michigan. Um, Before that, the week before that, I want to say it was only one pressure, but we was having problems with our offensive line earlier in the season. But that offensive line got better and better and better and better. And shout out to Tyler Bowen, man. Tyler Bowen, I feel like he didn't change the whole offensive line culture. You know, so I'm just saying, like, them dudes are mean, bro. Like, from Philip Daniels, Shabola was the only weak spot, but Shabola impressed me last week and how he played. Luke Montgomery, I don't know what it is about Montgomery when it gets to bowl season and championship season. This dude cuts it on for some reason. It's a switch that hit. Like, you didn't seen it the last 3 weeks with Luke Montgomery, where and that left side of the line is just outstanding. That's clearly the best side of our line. But even with that, that's only because I feel like Shabola was a weakness. But he actually played very well last week. But Philip Daniels might be the meanest dude on the offensive line, and I think that's why you was able to see Bo break out last week, like the way he did, because of that offensive line. Now we figured out, and this is the scary part for the whole college football world. We figured out we got to do that running back. They should have never let us figure that out. We got a dude that we could trust, and he's a true freshman. Yes, he is. We were a little timid giving him the ball against Michigan at the beginning of the game. I felt like
Mhm.
uh, maybe they just wanted to play aggressive, take some shots early. But the way he played last week, it's only going to build momentum. And I think if I had to give somebody a game ball at the end of the game today, and I had to choose a pick, it would probably be Bo. I think Bo gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I think you made a point. That's I told you how I feel about him. I think he should have been a starting running back. After some weeks after seeing him, I think again this week, Bo get 100, Ohio State win. I think he makes things so much easier for Julian saying and the respect that he gets in that locker room, being a true freshman, man. You gotta run the ball for the Ohio State University. That's not a tough task. You go, you get the big win in the big house. So that alone, and then his prior to throughout the season, and then last week, oh, he has 1,000 rushing yards. Has anybody been paying attention to that? This is a true freshman. He gets 1,000 yards rushing. He's not even starting the first few games of the season. So people really need to look at Bo because that boy is special. I think, you got to commend Ohio State on what they're doing in that recruiting, to get Bo, to get Julian, have Smitty, have Tate, have all these guys, as well as on the defensive side, getting the transfers, Downs being the biggest one, but then to bring in this recruiting class, solidifying with Henry the other day. So I think it's just something special what they're building over at Ohio State and that they continue to build. So, for me, I'm just excited to be able to, look forward to this championship game tonight and see what Ohio State could do. I got them in a big win. I'm not talking 2 touchdowns, I'm saying three. I'm gonna say 3 touchdowns. And you know how I am about your Bucks. I be on them sometimes, but your boys is doing what they do, man. They proving to me week in, week out, and I'm talking my shit today. Ohio State by 21 or more.
Yeah, you be on them with some blasphemous, like it'd be pure
I
blasphemy.
gotta be funky with y'all, man. That's the fan base that I get a lot of that from too.
Hey, I hear you, old Texas man, but you need to watch this game today. Um, Ohio State might sweep the awards, man. I'm sorry, we might sweep the awards, bro. You better go. You better go realize who Arvell Reese is. But that Rodriguez kid, he is definitely. He probably should be. He should probably be in New York, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's between him and Arvell Reese to win that Buckus Award. Um, even though Anthony Hill was there, the fact that he hasn't played in the last 2 games, no, he's not. He's definitely not going to win. I don't think he was going to win it even before these last 2 games, though. I don't think he did. What we seen Jacob Rodriguez and what Arvell Reese has done this season. But all three of them are really, really good linebackers. Boy, the NFL's going to love to get all three of those dudes. Um, but I think he has a really good chance of winning the Buckets. Him or Arvell Reese. Donnell was saying if they blitz, that means our tight ends and our running backs on quick flares, they're going to eat. I believe that's the case too. Julian saying is so smart now that he can get he know what to do with that football, man. He gonna get it to the right guys. He said he already won the Buckets Award. Well, did he win it last year? Is that who won it? Who won it last year? Or is he saying he's already saying, oh, he got it this
He
year?
said he's gonna
Well,
win it
we'll
this
see.
year.
I mean, he's deserving of it. I mean, either one of them is deserving of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the award already dropped. I must have missed it. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
Because certain awards is coming out right
certain
now.
awards that come out.
Yeah,
Smitty got the wide receiver of the year.
congratulations to him too, man. Because he all over the field. Interceptions, forcing fumbles. He doing a little everything. Donnell, over under 47 and a half. You say you think it's over, man. I'm telling you, I will pick the under, bro. I will pick the under. I think the final score gonna be something like 27-10. You know, I don't think they're going to score more than 16 points, which is what we let up the whole season, the most we let up the whole season. Um, and I don't think we're just going to go out there and blow them out. Like, I think we're going to play as balanced as we can. We're going to play slow, efficient football on offense. I don't think it's going to be a lot of possessions. 47.5 is kind of a lot. Um, Maybe not. If you think it's going to be a field goal difference in the game, I mean, like something like 27-24. If you think that's more of what we're going to be looking at, even that's not even covering. 27-24 ain't covering. I just don't see them scoring more than 16 points. I just don't. Not on this defense.
I
And,
just
man,
think
Mendoza struggles, man. He struggles when people give him different looks. So I don't see the way they muster up all these points
I'm gonna just
unless they just start gashing us in the running game.
yeah, I'm gonna just go over. I just really think y'all that good, man. Nothing against this Indiana team. I always look to that second half, man. Like games like, for example, when y'all was playing, forget y'all got that. I think it was a Michigan State game. How it was close, boom, y'all get them couple plays, game's over. I think we're gonna see something special like that today, man. Where y'all's defense is playing, and we got to think y'all's defense have been playing a lot, of course, better. But I want to see that fumble return, that interception return. I think we're gonna see a lot of that today. A lot of things that people are like, why is this defense so great? They already great. We see what they produce, when it comes to holding opponents to whether it's points, yards, you name it. But I think we're gonna see that ball getting intercepted, fumbles possibly happening. I just think it's Ohio State is all hats on, man. And like you said about the kid that's been up in his game in the last few weeks, I think he knows when to turn it on. Having that experience and making that run last year, I think he knows that it's that late time in November. It's time to have your hard helmet on, and we got to go out. And the possibility of Ohio State going through a college football undefeated is possible. I
Something we said will never happen.
I've really been looking at this, Zay. Listen, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna sit back and I say this. I've really been looking at it like they could beat this Indiana team. They come out in the playoff as a number one. This Ohio State team could be wreck. Like
Yeah,
this.
and this a thing too. I was looking at Moss. Man, the bracket looks so much easier than it did last year.
Now you see
It
why I
looks
want
so
that
much
chaos
easier.
for that bracket. It's gonna be smooth cooking.
I'm saying just sitting back and looking at the teams though, like
Yeah,
I think it were better teams last year than it is this year.
I agree. I totally agree. And if I was going to look at the portal to see if the portal was so friendly to every like the teams that's in it now, or did it branch out to where some of those players are on the other teams that's on the outside looking in, but they, based on the championships we got today, they don't have no way really to get in. You know, that's another thing. So hats off to your Buckeyes, man. Like they have definitely, stood the challenge week in, week out. I think they come out, stand the challenge today. They plan on a great field, in Indy. Um, I think that plays in their favor as well. And we know the history of when they step on that field, what they record is, the points they average. I think you're averaging about 30 to 40 points on that field, Zay.
So when you talk about the portal and the direct correlation, um, I think a lot of the teams that you see in the playoffs outside of Ole Miss was the one school that hit the portal because that's what Lane does. Lane hits the portal. He's the portal king, and he's going to hold that crown until further notice. But everybody else, in Texas Tech, of course, Texas Tech hit the portal well too. That I mean, they pieced together their whole defensive line basically out of the portal. Um, but outside of those two teams, it wasn't a lot of heaviness in the portal for real. But what you seen is they went and got an actual dude, uh, to plug a hole. Like Isaiah World, the left tackle at Oregon. That's a key get. Fernando Mendoza at Indiana. That's a key get. You know what I'm saying? So you seen some of these teams, most of these teams in the portal plug holes, but they didn't build their teams through the portal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they just built their team through the portal. So even us, we got Philip Daniels at right tackle. He came from Minnesota. So
Yeah.
we plug. I feel like a lot of the top 10 or 9 teams in the country, outside of Texas Tech, of course, I feel like they just plugged some holes.
Then with the just while we was on here, I know we talk about the coaching carousel a lot. Memphis, they expected to hire, which they finalizing right now. Southern Miss's Charles Huff as their new football coach to a 5-year deal. Um, that's what is set in stone. It look like that'll be finalizing up as we speak. So it's just a lot that's going on with that as well. But back to your Buckeyes, man. Win big today, I think, and the talk continues, man. Is this one of the best ever Ohio State football teams we've seen ever? For me, I've been watching football my whole life. I don't know about you, Zay, as far as in this being the best team you've seen, but man, this team is I I like this team that I'm
Um,
watching. I like that Mike Doss team. Like,
Man, it's hard to
and
do
then you
these
got the
types
team
of.
that beat, you got that team that got that rivalry back going. They was loaded. I mean, this is tops in this Buckeye history with teams. I think this definitely is a team you're gonna see on the game system as one of them classic teams. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking forward to Championship Saturday for sure. Definitely.
But I mean, this team got to still complete a mission of winning a national championship. So I can't even put them up there yet. Um, but we done had some teams, bro. Like
So
2012 was a great team. Um, that 2014 team was a great team. It's some teams.
if
Jim Tressel and that 2002 team was a great
yeah,
team. So I mean, it's a lot of teams, bro. That 2002 team might be the best one though,
like
honestly.
that's crazy. If even if y'all win the Big Ten championship, like even if y'all win the Ten championship, not to put anything in the air, but you still wouldn't classify y'all as being a great team, or for you personally, you want the championship with it to.
You can't go down as one of the greatest teams in Ohio State history if you don't win if you don't win a national championship. That should be for any major program too, kind of sort of like how do you consider yourself? Um, I mean, you can go down as a great team, but like top 10, top 9, like I don't know. I just feel like you got to put a national championship on it to be considered great, or you fell short. And just keep it all the way a band. I say I'm one of them arrogant assholes. I say we the greatest football program of all time, but that doesn't negate the fact that we done came up short. We should have a lot more national titles. You know, uh, but we still consistent. You can't take consistency away from us. We should have won a few more though.
uh,
Yeah, he said he did win it yesterday in Arlington. Yeah, he won the Buckets Award yesterday.
Appreciate that old Texas Tech man, 91-44.
What do y'all think? I mean, I know we covered all those games. Where do y'all think Rodriguez gets drafted? Do you think he's a top 15 pick in this NFL draft coming up?
He's such a dog, man. But you can see they don't value linebackers being drafted that high. Uh, we seen it with Jahad Campbell last year. He fell all the way down to the 30s or something. The Eagles picked him up. But this is one thing we understand too. So the great organizations in the NFL, like the Eagles, the Chiefs, They know how to identify a difference maker type guy, and whether or not you play the right position or not. I mean, if you play a position where it's not as high value like linebacker or safety, and you seen Malachi Starks fell too last year. Philly or one of these teams that want to contend for a championship every year, they're gonna come. They're gonna come get you because adding a guy like that, he looked like he deserves to be on a national. I mean, not a national, but a Super Bowl contending team, and he can bring it to you from day one. So, no, I don't think somebody that's in the top 15 is going to draft him just because you trying to hit a home run with them picks, and we know what we getting from that guy, and really is some bad thought process because that's a home run. A surefire guy that you could draft in the top 15 is a home run to me,
Yeah.
but they trying to make the splash. The quarterback, the receiver, the offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? The defensive end. Something that's more high caliber of affecting a football game. But guys like him, them are like glue guys to me. You could put him on probably all 32 teams, and everybody they're all gonna get better. He probably a start for most of them. You know what I'm saying? Except for like some of these teams that got Pro Bowl linebackers, middle linebackers. But this dude, I'm telling you, he like that. He gonna be a monster in the league for sure.
I think he go.
Yeah,
I actually think he goes top 15. I think a linebacker is. I think when you talk about the linebacker, I've been watching I know we watch a lot of football. That middle of the field is open. I think he get with the right team. He could lock a lot of that up. The way he moves, his athletic ability. I think he could actually come in and make that linebacker position more valuable than we've seen it over the past few years. And that's something I've looked at watching the running backs, watching the different positions that's been undervalued in the NFL. I think they're going to put more value to it coming into the NFL with their skill set. So for me, I think he's top 15. You can't pass on him. San Francisco, I believe they should be in the top 15. We know their history with linebackers. They could possibly snatch him up if they're in that top 15. So I think he definitely goes off the board. If he doesn't, he gonna make so many teams pay. Definitely.
Hey, Texas Tech, you ain't telling me nothing I don't know. I know all about your. That's my college football team on the game. That's who I run with. I run with Texas Tech. I ain't lying to you. I ain't lying to you. I know about Romello. I know about Gill and all them boys. That they lead the country in sacks. That whole front, they lead the whole country in sacks, bro. And I
Yeah,
hope Gil Howard come back sometime soon though, because he really the dude that makes that defensive line different. He's the dude because he take two blocks. He take two blocks every time. Um, but like you talk about Romello Hunter, and you talk about Bailey. He said that's another guy to keep an eye out. Bailey on the shorter side. They say he really like 6'1". They list him at like 6'3", but they say he like really 6'1". But he another guy that, for real. Like somebody just gonna jump and get him, and then they gonna understand. Like forget the measurables. He like that. You know what I'm saying? But Lee Hunter, Romello, Bailey, Gil Howard, Rodriguez. Man, that's five dudes right there. If you just bring all five of them, it's slow because if somebody gonna win on a one on one, somebody gonna win.
and they said this Texas Tech team could actually challenge a lot of people in this field, to possibly get into that national championship game this year. It's been a lot of talk and a lot of buzz as of late about this Texas Tech offense and that defense as well. So I'm definitely locked in and seeing what they do in this playoff this year, first year in this playoff, because I think the way that offense moves that ball, and like you saying on that defensive side, they could be a scary out for anybody.
man. Let me just say something about David Bailey, man. He broke my heart, man. Broke my heart, man.
He was supposed to come to Texas.
Man, listen,
Yeah,
bro. Listen. Could you imagine him and Colin
with Colin
Simmons,
Simmons
bro?
together.
I said we got to get this dude, but of course Texas Tech did what they needed to do to get him. But I think it was between us and them, and they did what they needed to do to get him. But I knew he was going to be a nightmare once they put it all together with that front seven that they have. But I would sure love to have him at Texas, man. Him and Colin Simmons, especially on third and longs, that's a man list. We already know what it would have been. We already know what it would have been.
Man, y'all got everybody else out of the portal. You can't have everything, man.
We needed that because as soon as he jumped in, we was like, "What? Oh yeah, okay, let's go." But Texas Tech did what they needed to do. Donnell saying Brian Hartline goes to UCF. Will he take some players with him? And sources say Smith, number 4, may leave with him.
Man, them sources need to be fired, Donnell.
He ain't going nowhere, bro.
He is not going to USF with Brian Hartline, man. And listen, he gonna take some players though. I think he gonna get King Holtz. I said this the other day. I think he gonna get King Holtz. I think he might get 2 of the 3 of Bryson Rogers. Um, who else? Noah Rogers, who's at NC State, but was his recruit. He transferred out and went to NC State, but they don't even throw him the ball. He be playing, but they don't throw him the ball. So as soon as I listen, I'm telling you, he might hop in the portal and Brian Hartline gonna call him. And then who was the other guy I said? Somebody else on our roster right now that I think might go with him. I can't even think of who I said. It'll come to me though. But I think he's gonna get 2 of our receivers for sure. And King Holtz. And I think that's gonna be his jumpstart package.
It just goes to show what he does, the effect that he has on players. I know he was recruiting Smith like crazy. That was like, so I can understand a lot of that, but I don't see that happening. Jemiah Smith go to USF, that'd be diabolical, as we say. I think he stays at Ohio State, him and Chris Henry Jr., along with the other, receivers they got coming in. Just definitely do what they do best, man. He said he said Texas don't
Shots
deserve
fired. Shots fired.
Hit that horn on him, Zay.
Uh,
Texas, man, we appreciate you, man.
You know what, man? Brian Hartline is a really, really smart dude. He's in a really, really good position because he already knows the players that are at Ohio State that are good players, they just happen to be behind some better players. So he's going to know when those exit interviews happen, some of the guys that he can say, listen, come on down here to USF, and play some football, man. A really good school. You can go out here, and the NFL is going to be right there with you. And I think he's going to be able to do a really good job, man, because I think he's just a really good observer of talent. He knows what he's doing. I would have liked to have seen him coach one more year at Ohio State as the offensive coordinator and then made this move. But now is the time. He did it. Go do your thing, Brian Hartline. But he's definitely going to get some of those players. Smitty, ain't that happening. That kid's mindset is totally different than what we see from a lot of people. His maturity level, he wouldn't do anything like that. He loves Ohio State. That's why he's there. He could have went anywhere in the country that he wanted to go. He went to the school that he wanted to play for. So he's going to finish his last year there. And old Texas Tech, man, yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Texas not deserving to be in the college football playoffs. I understand, man. I understand. They needed to handle their business, and they didn't. But if you think that Texas isn't one of the 12 best teams in the country, then we're going to have to sit down and have a discussion, my brother. They're definitely one of the 12 best teams in the country. But the way it looks right now, they should not be in the college football playoffs. You're right.
yeah, Brian Hartline a real one though, man. I don't know if y'all seen that video I put in the chat yesterday when he talked to Chris Henry. He was like, "Hey, you made the right choice because it's the football factory. It's not about being selfish. It's the football factory."
Well, that's it.
Hey, man, listen. This is the thing I love about being a Texas Longhorns fan because you already know that you got so many. You got Texas Tech, you got Baylor, you got TCU, you got Oklahoma, you got Arkansas. You got so many freaking enemies, man, that it is Always gonna be some action. You ain't gotta go far to get some action. That old Texas Tech man, 9144. Whenever you want to get on the show and talk about your Texas Tech Red Raiders, you are welcome. You
Yeah.
are
He
welcome.
said the Texas Yellow Bellies.
Y'all got a big game tonight, Texas Tech. So we
Man,
got your
they about to pop them, bro.
so you could definitely hit us up and you could join us if you want to talk your talk in the morning for a little Sunday after we
Yeah.
recap these big games tomorrow.
Let's
That
finish
off.
up with Matt Campbell's hire to Penn State. What's your thoughts about it? Is that a good fit? What do y'all think about Matt Campbell and how you think Penn State is going to fare with him?
I don't know how I feel about that hire, bro.
With you, Zay.
I don't know. You know, if this is this what we waited the whole time for? I don't know, man. Maybe listen, it could possibly be a good hire because when I'm thinking about it, like Iowa State, what type of recruits are they getting? So he might be playing with a whole different level of talent.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like I just when I think about Penn State football, it's not that's not what I got from watching Iowa State, you know. So it's not even I didn't think it was even close. But I mean only time will tell, we'll see. Man, he started behind the curve though. I tell you, they only signed two recruits this early period. So they got a class of two. He gonna be behind the eight ball for sure. He gotta get it pushing. We'll see though once he start getting some talent and how it's going and how it's gonna look. Um, but I ain't sure about it, bro. How you feel?
For me, it's the same way as you. You know, this is Penn State. I thought they would have been brought in. Nothing against him. You know, we've seen what his resume is at Iowa State, bringing that program to. But this is Penn State. This is the Big Ten. Like you said about recruiting, you got to come in with your hard hat on in the Big Ten. And that's going to be my thought. You know, what is he bringing in? What is he, doing with what he has there? You know, are you going to be able to replicate what you were doing over at Iowa State? You know, you got to instantly win here at Penn State. You got to be able to compete right away. They're not going to wait for year three. You know, year two is when you need to be getting 9 wins, if not next year, getting 8 to 9 wins. So, for me on the outside looking in, another thing, they hired another coach once he was gone, literally the next day. So that might have something to say as well. Getting rid of, as soon as he signed, they was, had another coach ready. So overall, I don't know. Only time to tell for me. I thought they would have brought in a, you know, I don't know, different coach, I guess, with a much lengthier resume. But I mean, can't negate what he's done at Iowa State, bringing him to the Big Ten. We'll see if that physical nature can stay with him and be a factor here in the Big Ten. Yo, Mike, huh?
I, I think we all can agree that he wasn't Penn State's first choice. But I think he's probably maybe the best they can get at this point. Matt Campbell had an opportunity several years ago to make his way out of Iowa State, and he didn't. He stayed when he was at his height. And I don't think he wanted to miss out on this opportunity. So I think whenever Penn State called, he said, I better go ahead and make this move. He's already really familiar with the Big Ten, having played Iowa every year. So he knows the physicality that it takes to be able to compete in the Big Ten. He's a guy who can take 3 stars and make them play like 5 stars because for many years he gave Texas hell in that Big 12. So he's a guy that I think can be a really good coach there. Can he get the coordinators that he needs? And will he be able to get an offensive coordinator that can sort of maybe open up the offense a little bit more? He's more of a tight end kind of guy, gritty quarterback kind of guy. He's probably gonna have to find a way to be able to compete with the Ohio States of the world, the Oregons of the world. but he's going to bring a physical team, a physicality that is needed in the big team. So I think he's going to do okay. I just hope that his coordinators can figure it out quickly so that he can get Penn State going in the right direction. They're always going to be able to recruit well in the state of Pennsylvania. They're going to be able to get talent out of Ohio, and also even there on the East Coast when you talk about Jersey, Philadelphia, places like that. Uh,
You know the thing that's gonna help Matt Campbell too. Now that I think of it too, he was a coach. He was a head coach at Toledo.
Yeah.
You know, if he could lock down if he can lock down Pennsylvania and come into Ohio and get a few kids out of Ohio, all his jobs has been in the Midwest. Toledo, Iowa State, now Penn State. He should know the Midwest and where to find talent.
And he got Grunt, he got the Olentangy kid. I think, when it's all said and done, I think, having them ties to Toledo, like you said, I think that'll be a big difference maker. He's won wherever he's went. That definitely helps, bringing Big 12 championships to Iowa State. So maybe Penn State needed a different identity. Um, he's won big games. That's something that we haven't seen at Penn State. Maybe he could get those big game wins for him. So, it's definitely something to see. And time will tell. A lot of these hires, we may not understand them, but in the retrospect of them understanding what they want to fit for their university and what they feel they could do. So, respectably, we see it, we understand it and respect it, but we're gonna talk our talk about it. So outside of that, we just waiting to see, how things go and did Penn State make the right hire. Time will tell.
what's your thoughts on Sharon Moore, Donnell? Put that in the chat. What's your thoughts on Sharon Moore? Is he going to be able to last as the Michigan's head coach?
I
Man,
don't think so, man. I think he's a mid major coach. I don't think he's a power four school coach. You know, you seen Billy Napier. Billy Napier bouncing around in the group of five now. I think that's where Sharon Moore needs to be.
I agree.
It ain't no knock. I mean, it just some guys it's just that level is for that level is for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm in the same agreement with you. Nothing against him. I think he's done a great job coming in and taking over the reins and leading Michigan like he has. But I think his time is up. You know, this is a university that they. th- I'm not gonna say demand excellence, but this is Michigan. They demand excellence. When it comes to this game within itself, I was like, wow. I was like, man, he flat out got out coached the whole nine. So, it's so much that goes into that, and I just think his time is up. It's only a matter of time. I feel. I don't know if he's going to be there for the start of the season or what, but I think his time is up.
Yeah, I think Sharon Moore is not going to last at Michigan much longer. Maybe another year, and then they're going to have to go in a different direction. I really don't think he's the man for that job at Michigan. I think that was something that they had to do because of the situation they was dealing with. But overall, if they could have went another direction and they didn't have that situation, they probably would have. I don't think they really wanted to hire Sharon Moore. They probably just was forced into it. Well, not forced into it. It was the decision they had to make. Uh, no, old school Texas Tech man. I'm not from Texas. I just happen to be a 7-year-old boy watching Earl Campbell beat up on Arkansas, beat up on Oklahoma, which made me a Texas Longhorn fan almost 50 years ago. So ever since I seen Earl Campbell play, I've been a Texas Longhorn fan. Growing up, I always wanted to be a cowboy, not a Dallas cowboy, but a cowboy. So I did all of my elementary reports on the Lone Star State. I just always been fascinated with the state itself and those Texas Longhorns. I don't got nothing against Texas Tech and all those other schools, even though they are rivals. I don't have it bad in my blood like those people who live in the state of Texas have it for each other. So I'm cool with whoever likes whoever. It's just when they play, I want Texas to whip their ass. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Flat out.
But I do plan on buying me a home down there in Austin, though. I went to visit before, so I'm definitely at some point in my life I'm going to buy me a home in Texas. So I mean in Austin. So during the cold months here in Ohio, I can go there for those 4 months out of the year and live in Austin. I really like that city.
Said he out. I feel you.
Over Frisco and over Dallas Fort Worth. That those was the other two options I had because I got family that live in Dallas Fort Worth and in Frisco. So, but I would prefer to live in Austin. Oh, he was saying that they're already thinking about replacing Sharon Moore. Donnell was saying that.
Get him out of here.
Where's Parlay Poe when you need him?
Yeah.
Give us
Parlay Poe don't want him either. I'm telling you.
nah,
Poe about sick of Sharon Moore.
I know a couple weeks ago he said it's time to get him out of here, almost in the same sense in the way you just said it.
Yeah, he said he's an Earl Campbell fan, and Barry said, well, listen, Barry Sanders, to me, hands down, best running back to ever play in the NFL. Hands down. To me.
It's
I'm quite
debatable.
sure you too. Yeah.
It's debatable.
It's debatable, definitely.
I know in the hood, that's what we was talking about. When
Damn.
we was playing in the field is Barry Sanders.
Hey, I thought I was gonna get more pushback on that when I said that, honestly.
Nah, it's crazy because like that was a topic like we talked about that. Like we used to literally have arguments about that. They'd take Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, um, of course Walter Payton, but for players we seen like Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Jerome Bettis was one, Terrell Davis. We watched him, but I I think
I'm
Barry.
highly upset in you that you didn't say Adrian Peterson.
No, I'm saying as far as in like with this talk, like Barry
Wow.
Sanders and Emmitt Smith. No, nah, Adrian Peterson. He's one of my guys. I definitely like him. Billy Sims. Yeah, it's just some great running backs, man, for sure.
Yeah, but hey, we coming up on 145, man.
Anything else that you had to talk about? I don't know if Unc was out of here. Anything else that you had to talk about this morning before we kick off and get into this great day of championship Saturday?
I mean, not really. I do want to mention though, um, that the OKC Thunder are about to break this record. They are 22-1.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous the way they are owning the NBA right now.
they on the tear. We will be having some talks coming for the NBA side too. I'm gonna send you all of my. I've been writing some more notes. I'm gonna send some more to you so we can figure out, how we want to attack that NBA college basketball side as well because it's been crazy. It's been a great year with that so far. He said, Robert, you go to College Station, make sure you wear a face mask white so you don't smell.
Hey, old Texas Tech man, you be practicing that line in the mirror. That's the second time you put that in the chat. He be practicing that one. You on mute?
Unmute your mic, huh?
I have a desire to go to College Station. I have a desire to go to Lubbock. But I ain't gonna be able to do it, bro, because I already know how those fans get down, bro. I ain't
You
nah.
got to call us to
Listen,
go
now,
down
listen,
there with you, huh?
if I could take all of the crew with me, oh yeah, I'm here,
You
I'm there.
coming
I'm
up?
in
You showing up at College Station? We
there.
there.
But me, just me, no, I ain't gonna be able to do
We
it.
ain't even let do that by itself.
But if I do go, I'll remember to wear me a face mask because I don't want to smell hard. That's for sure. Thanks for the heads up on that. All right, so I gotta get out of here, man. So if y'all got anything else y'all want to add, we can add it real quick. But I gotta get ready to go.
Nah, man, just y'all know what to do, man. Follow all the channels at the bottom: WTP for Life, City League TV, FanDuel Zay, SEC Sean, Parlay Po, Post Game 86, Level Up Sports 10. It's me, your boy Mossberg. Man, you doing something special, man, and I can't wait till we down there in College Station as a group. I'm putting it in the air. Oh, Texas Tech Man 9144. We gonna see you, and we gonna be down there as a crew, WTP and the gang, man. So other than that, man, y'all enjoy college football Saturday as we always do. We in the building and we out. And you see Buckeye Nation over there, FanDuel Zay, man. Tap into him. Tap into all the pages. To like and subscribe as well. Peace. We
All
out.
right, y'all. Peace.
There we go.